Welcome to Learning to Live with Dementia. This is Lesson 5, Making Choices to Live Well.
Well, basically, since I've been an adult, I've been able to make my own choices, good or bad. And there have been some bad ones, just like with everybody. I've got things that I regret, but I can't blame anybody but myself. It was my choice. And that's why if families and those professionals that work with people with cognitive decline can understand the concept I said earlier about that they're seeing the world differently, their choice would be different because they're seeing it differently. That doesn't mean the choice is wrong necessarily. Now, of course, there are dangerous situations, not talking about that, but the simple everyday decisions, they can still, and I just, people don't put themselves in somebody else's place and think, how would you feel if somebody took that decision away from you? They just don't think about it in that way. They just automatically say, no, that's dangerous. You can't do that. So, and sure, there are dangerous things, but you have to let people at least try.
The stigma of dementia, the negative and false beliefs we hear about dementia, tells us that people with dementia can no longer make any choices or decisions. This is not true. It might be more difficult to make choices because having dementia means that they're having some trouble with their thinking. This could be difficulty in processing information or thinking through different outcomes from decisions. They might have difficulty expressing their choices because for many people with dementia, they might have difficulty with finding words and communication. They might need help from others in making decisions. This doesn't mean that others should make decisions for them, but with them. Just because a person has dementia doesn't mean all their choices are taken away from them. A person living with dementia has the right to make choices for their own life. Supporting a person with dementia to make choices is an important part of supporting them to live well with dementia. Meet Dad, who lives with a type of dementia. Dad's son and his wife are Dad's support partners.
I'm not really dealing with you right now.
If he gets tired, then why can't he just stay in the hotel room?
Really? You think that is safe?
Think what is safe? You talking about Mac?
No, you.
Me?
Dad, have a seat.
A seat? Oh, this is serious. I need a piece of coffee cake and a coffee then. Right now I'm ready to talk.
Dad, we're feeling worried about the trip. There are so many variables.
We don't know if you make it the whole day. You know the kids will want to stay until the fireworks.
So do I.
And what happens if we all want to go on a ride and you can't because of your AFib?
I suppose I'll sit and wave at you.
What if you get tired and want to go back to the room?
Then I'll tough it out, or...
One of us takes you back to the room.
Right.
It's just that we've saved up for this vacation. We want it to be good for the kids.
If I go, it won't be good for the kids?
No, that's not what we're saying.
I guess we're worried if it will be too much for you.
So what if it is too much for me? Maybe it's my last chance for me to do something that might be too much for me.
I do know the kids really want you to come.
Look, I don't have very many more trips in me. And there are a few rides I'd still like to try, so I'll pay my way and get a connecting room to your room.
That sounds good.
I want to do things. I can walk pretty good. I can still eat whatever. I want to experience everything I can for as long as I can. You both have been so kind to me, but I'm not fragile and I'm not going to break. Let's talk it through.
Okay, but I'm getting a piece of that coffee cake first.
At first, Dad's family seems to be making choices for him rather than with him. When Dad becomes a part of the conversation, he can respond to the concerns his family has from his perspective and share what he wants. Dad has made the choice that he wants to go on the trip and is willing to adapt to the plan so he can go. Although they may not agree with all of his choices, his family is going to try to honor his decisions. You might not always agree with the choices a person with dementia makes. Like all humans, they might make choices that are unwise. Just because a person makes an unwise decision doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to make choices. Of course, the consequences of the choice might matter. For example, if Dad goes on the trip and decides he wants to eat French fries, burgers, and ice cream every day, his family might think his choices are unwise, but the consequences are not high risk, maybe indigestion. On the other hand, if Dad decides that he wants to get a rental car on the trip so he can get around on his own, his family might need to have a deeper discussion about how it's not safe for him to drive, especially in an unfamiliar area. People with dementia often feel like they're having choices made for them and that they're losing the chance to make choices for themselves. This could cause them to feel powerless, and it might also fuel anger and resentment. You can support a person with dementia in making choices by establishing trust with them. Trust that they are making choices that are important to them and trust their choices as much as possible. This shows that you trust their perspective. If you're concerned about a decision, rather than immediately telling a person that you disagree with their decision or won't let them do it, share your concerns and also listen to their side. For big decisions that affect health and safety, ask the person to trust your concerns just like you trust their perspective. You can still honor the choices of a person with dementia even as their dementia progresses.
Shh. What's on the agenda for today?
What do you want to do?
What are my choices?
Well, usually on Wednesday we've been going to Tai Chi in the park, but there's also a concert tonight at the band shell.
Can I do both?
Sure, it's up to you. I was just thinking that you may be too tired for the concert if we do Tai Chi.
Let's risk it.
Sounds good. Also, you got an invite from Bob to come over and watch a football game, OSU?
Ooh, when is that?
Tonight.
Tell me again what I could do tonight?
Concert or football game?
Am I watching or playing at either?
Watching.
Okay. I want to watch the game with Bob.
I'll lay out your OSU shirt.
And I'll need to bring snacks.
A person with dementia might need to be supported to make choices about how they want to live. Even if the choices are small, like what a person wants to eat or what they want to wear, making these choices helps empower people with dementia so that they can keep moving forward and living well with dementia.
In this journey, I've lost a lot of friends to dementia and illnesses related to dementia. And I've watched some people retire after they've been diagnosed and just have a caregiver just do what they want to do to that person. And it didn't make me feel good to watch. I said, you know what? I need to encourage them to pay attention to me. And I have it in writing. Matter of fact, I just ordered a book on Amazon. It's 3,000 Things About Me. Pay attention to me, because I may not be able to verbalize, but just know I'm still in there. I firmly believe that I'll still be in there. My people are still in there. Make me comfortable.